I'll definitely agree with all of you that that's the kind of racing we want to see. So that was awesome, and therefore we need to change the rule because we don't want penalties in such instances. That's what we want to see. That was great, exciting battling. However, at the moment there is this rule, and it was very, very clear to me that Sebastian just didn't leave enough space in that situation, and therefore it was an unsafe return, and therefore the rule was it was there, and the penalty was justified.
Well, I think Nico, we could sit here and we could have a real old argument as two old racing drivers, not your normal
I was going to say,
two ex-racing drivers, world champions. We could, and Paul, we can talk and we can sit and argue about what is right and wrong in racing all day long. I think if you were in Lewis's situation, you would have done exactly what Lewis did, and if you were in Sebastian's situation, you'd have done exactly what Sebastian did. And I'm not suggesting that you would try and stop.
Can I ask you a question? I got a question for you. Do you think there would have been a collision had Lewis not backed out and would have stayed flat out on the throttle? Do you think there would have been a touch of wheels or a touch with a wall?
Nico, you know best about not backing out situations with Lewis, and I think that there were many times, or a couple of times I can think of, when you two guys came very close and actually did touch. In this instance, nothing happened. They both avoided it. And I think it was a very good job of Sebastian to actually collect it and actually not lose control and stay on the track. And maybe in the back of his mind was thinking, I'm not going to let enough room so that Lewis gets through. So we're racing drivers. We always try and stop the guy from getting past if we can.
You know, the drivers have asked to tell Loudon to race.
Not leave enough room for Lewis to get through, and that's what he's not allowed to do. That's precisely the problem.
Yeah, well, we can't prove whether he did or not. We can't get into his mind. I mean, we know as racing drivers what happens, and I think also we've got a responsibility to the show. As racing drivers, we've got a responsibility to the fans. We've got a responsibility to show that we're the best drivers, and also we want people to be satisfied when they go home.
Which is certainly a point that Sebastian made afterwards. I thought that was quite smart of him, actually. He took away the personal element for it and said, look, this is about the fans ultimately.
It is, and I guess they could see that. The fans were hurt by that decision. You could see that. Not the right reaction, not what you want to see on a podium. But I'm kind of with Damon. I think, some of the epic battles we saw through motorsport, and I think that was well within the limits of what is acceptable, and that's what you want to see, and that's what the fans want to see. They want to see the guys racing each other close.
We've got Nico here, so I mean, I'd like to know, Nico, what do we do? Do we take that rule away? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, we need to make that rule a lot more lenient. That's clearly the case because this is the racing we all want to see. That's what makes the thrilling motorsport that we're like on the edge of our seats watching TV. So it needs to be modified. I'm not able to say now exactly how the wording needs to change, but definitely it needs change.
So you're more in favour like a bare fist knuckle fight, take the gloves off, huh?
Of course, that's what we all want. I'm sure every single viewer watching now will agree, but everything has a limit, and we've got a couple of nutcases out there, and there has to be some kind of a rule to put a limit to that, of course.